Hi, this is Ray with School of Racing Graphics. In this video demo, I'm going to be showing you some new files that I've been putting together for premium members. If you're not a premium member, I encourage you to stick around. Some of the things in this video you might find helpful and also be able to enable you to get through your wrap design projects quicker and easier. So what you're going to do, if you're a premium member, this file that you're looking at here is available to you for free to download in your premium member account center. So I'll show you just where that is here. So I'm logged in here. This is what your premium membership account page looks like. And you're just going to click on More Design Tools. When you click on More Design Tools, it'll take it a second here because my internet. You'll see three different folder types. And so you're going to have wrap spine kits. That's what I'm calling the file that I'm working with in this demo video. Basically, I call it a spine kit because it's like the backbone of a wrap design, sponsors, numbers, things like that. Then you're also going to download all the fonts that are here that are related to Wrap Kit 1. And then you're going to download the base graphic styles if you're using Adobe Illustrator or FlexiSign or Vinyl Express LXI. And I'll explain those here in just a little bit. Okay, so once you have all those downloaded, go ahead and pause the video, or I guess you can't pause the video. This is a live stream. So just go ahead and download those or just watch the video and you can follow along afterwards. You'll see a QR code at the bottom of the file here. So anytime you need to get back to this video, you just scan that code or copy and paste this link and it'll get you to this video to show you how I'm demoing out wrap design. So I'm just going to select the Dirt Modified and show you how to work through the Dirt Modified spine kit so that you can knock out your projects quickly and easily. So everything in here is live type as far as the sponsors go and the numbers go. And so I'm basically just making up a project right now. I'm making up the sponsor, I'm making up the number, and I'm just going to go through and show you how easy it is to change it all, get it styled up, and get a proof out to your client. So I would encourage you to embellish it more, make it a little bit more unique than what I'm going to do. This is going to be pretty bare bones wrap, but it'll give you a basic idea of what you can do. So I'm going to go ahead and change this to number 16. I'm going to change the sponsor to Sullivan. And I'm going to change this subtitle to plumbing, and I'm going to change S&S. Now this you could change it. You can go R and T, something like that, or you could change it to something that's like a full word, like Smith, right? But depending on what you change it to, you're definitely going to have to resize it. So I'm going to stick with what I've got here. I'm going to go with RT, but I am going to take this ampersand here and make it a little bit smaller. Like that, and then I'm going to adjust its height here. And where am I going here? Here we go. There we go. So somewhere about in the middle, and I could probably fine tune that just a little bit more, but I'll leave it for now. Okay, so once I've got those changes done, I could say, let's say construction, something like that. And I'll size this down just a little bit. And if I don't want the phone number, or I want the phone number to be on like a second line or something like that, I could just highlight this, delete that, size it up like so, and then take the phone number, put it on its own line like that, and size it up. And just kind of mess with it from there. I'll just keep it simple for now. I'm not going to go too in depth on editing the text, but just so you can see how quickly and easily it is, because I've selected the text and already skewed it. Now, if you don't like that I've already got the rake on each design, right? Like I've got it here for the Asphalt late model, the truck, the Dirt late model, all that. I put the straight angled versions up here so you can quickly and easily just nab them and then pull them into your wrap design. So you don't have to work with the rake that I have selected. These fit the templates that are on our website. And so you could, slide it right into a template pretty quickly and easily. Okay, so once I have that done, I got number 16, R&T, I got all this done. I'm just going to go ahead and expand it all so that it is no longer live text, right? Just like that. So now it's just a basic shape. Okay, and sometimes you got to check through and look at it, because sometimes it throws it into a group, so you just got to clean that up. That's an Adobe Illustrator, more specific to Adobe Illustrator than it is like FlexiSign or other design software. So I'm just going to clean these up, make sure they're all just one compound path. So, and that way when I go to style all of this, I'm not having to work through. Okay, so the other file you want to download is the wrap styles, and so I'm going to go ahead and just open it up. I'm using Adobe Illustrator Creative Cloud or version 2022, whatever you want to call it. So I'm just going to open this file, and I can just take these. They don't look like anything special right now, right? I can just take these and I can copy and paste them over into the file like so. Okay. And now I have these styles to work with. You can see they have been thrown into my graphic styles window. If yours isn't open, you can just go to window and then slide down to graphic styles, and it'll open this, and then you have your graphic styles right there. So I already know I want to use that for my graphic. I want to use that for my number and sponsors, and that is probably going to be the background of some sort. So I can just click the background, go like that, click the number, select that, click the sponsor and this sponsor. But the problem that I'm having is that the scale of each of these is too thick, right? Maybe the number is okay, but I'm probably going to have to adjust it to get it just right. Now, one thing I don't like about this font, it's called Sarpanch, and it's free to use commercially, is that the one looks a little bit like a 7. So I'm going to come in and adjust that. So first, I double click that, and then I'm going to pull this in just a little bit to make it look less like a 7 and more like a 1, like so. And I'm going to scale it down just a little bit so it actually fits my wrap a little bit better, like so. And I could reapply the style right after that and see how it kind of puffed back up into a little bit of a thicker size. But I know like this Sullivan, it's kind of scaled down a little bit from the number, and so is the RT. So I know I don't need that specific graphic style at that particular thickness. I am going to put a little bit more of a gap in the 16, make it a little bit more consistent. I always like my gap to be consistent with whatever the outline is. So now what I'm going to do is take the 16 and I'm going to just scale it down. And because the graphic styles are scaling when I resize, I can just take that and drag it into here and then reapply it on here and see it scales down for me just like that. And so I can do it again. Actually don't need to make a copy, right? And just pull it in and scale it down just a little bit. And if I want to mess with the style that's on the text there, I could just take this here and put offset paths on them. So like I can offset this path to the inside. So right now we'll go negative, right? And then we'll take the offset path off this one. And now you can see I have a red outline on the inside. I don't really particularly like that look, but you get the idea. So I got Mo Mudden telling me to come in here and change all the colors to the logos because I did that on a car. I don't know, what was it, 2-3 weeks ago? I changed all the logos to yellow. I probably shouldn't have did it. I've talked about in other videos like not doing that. And I just don't even know what possessed me to do it. I usually don't. Now there is an exception to that rule. Every business has typically a black version of their logo, a white version of their logo, and a colored version of their logo. So if you're turning it white, just make sure you're following the construct of how they turn their logo white. If you're turning it black, follow that construct, and then otherwise just leave it colored. So don't make the mistake I did and like turn it yellow or whatever. Especially if it's like a logo that's like red, white, and blue, and then you turn it yellow. It doesn't really honor the brand. And so you can see I'm guilty of doing that on I think it was a number 61 dirt late model. And I've probably done it in the past before. So old habits die hard. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and undo this. And I'm just going to leave that for now, because I don't want to make like a 10-hour video, but I would clean all these up, all the spaces in between the Sullivan, and make them super consistent, minimize some of this stuff, and just work through it. It doesn't have to be perfect in this video because I'm really just trying to demo out. I'm not really trying to perfect everything. So just go ahead and whenever you're messing with the graphic styles, you can kind of play with each outline a little bit right here in the graphic outlines. Okay, so now what I'm going to need is to use this same one. I'm just going to go ahead and copy it, bring it over here, bring it to graphic style 5, and now you can see that's a little bit more scaled down. It's not quite as thick or as gross, right? If it's too thick, it gets gross and it covers up kind of what you got going on with the rest of the wrap. And then I'm going to take this guy here, and I'm just going to simplify it. I'm going to get rid of the red, and I'm actually going to get rid of the gray as well. And I'm going to scale it down a little bit more. So now I just have like a black and white like that. And I'm going to drag and drop that on there. And then I can grab these and throw that on there, throw that on there, and it works pretty well, makes everything pretty readable. I always like to have a simple one for smaller text. Like I don't like to have a ton of outlines on smaller text so that it stays super readable. Now, one thing you could do in Illustrator is you could take these elements and you can group them together. And when you've grouped them together in your appearance, you'll see it says group. And so then what you could do is say add new fill. And when you add the new fill, you can see the whole thing turns black, right? That's problematic. But you can take this, pull it underneath what's called contents, and now that fills under the contents, and you can expand it. So I'm going to go to Effect, Path, Offset Path, 2 pixels. I'll just see what that looks like. I don't know for sure what it's going to look like. We'll go 0.5 pixels, and then I'm just going to go ahead and turn it. Where's my swatches palette? Somewhere here. There it is. And I'll turn it red just so you can kind of see. So you can see it actually wraps itself around the shadow and everything because I applied it to the group instead of to the just to the R&T. But and so even though this construction and the phone number has a different style, you can also do you can combine them together and then get another outline on them. And it's kind of more of a deconstruct or a non-destructive workflow. Okay, so I'm going to undo that. I typically don't like to do that. I just wanted to show you that you had the option. Adding that extra outline that draws attention is a lot of times it's just not helpful. Okay, so I'm going to nudge that over. Nudge a little too far, probably being too picky for this particular video. And I'll post this card to my portfolio afterwards so you can kind of see what I landed on when I was done. Okay, so we got that in there, and that's just the basic structure. Maybe you would have like 2 or 3 more sponsors that you would have to add in, and you could use these same fonts, or you can get some different fonts, or maybe make this one like one of the fonts. So you got this is called Serena, and so you can say Jax, and then we could take this here and say Jax. Make sure you get an apostrophe in there. Welding. Oops. Sometimes you got to separate them to get them. Like that. And then I would probably like bring in some kind of clip art welding gun or something like that. But so you can see you can make other sponsors there and slide them in place. So I'm not going to use that particular one, but I just wanted to show you what your options were, that you don't have to be stuck with everything that's there. So now I just want to show you basically a base graphic. You don't have to do anything particularly special to have an effective wrap layout. A lot of people actually ask, they're like, I just want clean graphics. I don't like to always like create and sell like super clean graphics because they're easy to create. And it seems like a ripoff for me to like sell you a straight line. So you can make a straight line. Like that shouldn't be a problem for you. So I like to kind of build things that are a little bit more, take a little bit more time, effort, and energy to construct and navigate within the wrap. Okay, so I'm just going to create a basic rectangle for now. The basic rectangle will always work on any wrap. So you can always put it in, follow the rake, and you can work through it just based on what it is. You'd be surprised at the results that you get just by committing to this particular style. So I'm going to go ahead and duplicate the modified body side, bring it up here, and let's see, slide that down. And make a clipping mask. I don't like clipping masks, but sometimes they're relevant. Okay, so now I have that there, and I can, first of all, I can play with it, right? So I can kind of slide it around, see like where it looks best, because really, even with a basic rectangle, you can play with the different widths, right? Put it in different places. So I'm thinking mostly like, hey, let's cut this thing in half, right? Let's cut the car in half. That typically is a pretty good result on any wrap design. So I'm going to go ahead and select the rectangle and select graphic style 3, right? So now you can see this very unspecial box actually creates a pretty neat little style on the graphic, right? So now I just want to make sure I'm matching pitch with all the sponsors, or you can call it rake, right? And it fits in there pretty nice. And with the graphic style on there, I can take this, put a point here, and then bring this up here. And it doesn't really take much to get something even more dynamic just by moving things around, right? So you guys have seen like car style like that. You can round this corner, play with it like that. Or you can even take this and duplicate it, and now you got red on top of red. Of course, you'd have to make some minor adjustments. I can move this down, and then I can turn this red here black, so it kind of keeps that same vibe that it had. So I'm just going to select it in the style, turn it black, and now I have this kind of cool red line going through. I could ditch this one, I could ditch this one, I could ditch this one, and now I got this red line. Really looking to get to that red line, and get rid of that too. Okay. And then just turn this maybe the brighter red color, like so. And it just brings in the nice little detail into the wrap without, being overwhelming, right? And I would move it around. I'd play with it some more. Okay, so then I'd probably stretch this and do some cutting off work. I'm not going to clean all that up right now, but I probably wouldn't run that across there. I would figure out a way to resolve it. Okay. And then I got these 2 layers here. They're already in here just for the ease of use. So I'm going to go ahead and turn on the sponsors. These ones are just pre-built, ones I just laid out. Okay, nothing special. But you can see now I can just throw those on there like that. And it kind of fills out the wrap, makes it look, oops, don't do that. It makes it look more complete. Right. And now I can slide this into a template and send it off as a proof. And I think I've been recording 18 minutes. So in less than 18 minutes, I've created the side of the car. Now, to be fair, obviously, you don't always have your contingencies laid out and things like that. But you kind of get the basic idea. So you can run through each one of these. And I've placed the sponsors on each of these, where they would go based on, each style of car. So some don't have both sponsors, just based on the fact that like these cars here, the Camaro or Firebird or whatever you want to call them, they sometimes have a sponsor back here, but to fit it back there sometimes looks weird. So I just left it off. I'll leave that up to you. So really the only thing left to do would be to take this, move it around, and just make some adjustments to it. I also brought in a whole nother graphic just to see what it would look like if I was going to maybe play with the potential of something else. So this is graphic 105. And so graphic 105, when you throw it back there, there would be some work to be done on this Brock and Brine sponsor, on the Xander sponsor to get some separation. But you kind of get the basic idea. You can do a lot once you have your sponsors and numbers laid out. So all of that is in your premium membership, not the graphic. That graphic is not in your premium membership, though you can get it with your coupon, graphic 105. But all of this is in your premium membership. Fonts, graphic styles, especially if you're a Adobe Illustrator user. If you're a FlexiSign user, and you've not really messed with graphic styles, I have to be honest, like building them and creating them and adjusting them is incredibly frustrating. Like I almost just want to give up on it completely because it's not intuitive at all. They don't scale. So it's like if I scale this up and then reapply it, it just goes back to its it goes back to its original form or sizes. And so the problem would be then what you have to do is go in and adjust each little one and then duplicate that and apply it to something else, which is still better than building from scratch every time, but it's just not it's not as friendly to kind of work around it. So if you guys have any questions or anything like that, you can go to srgfx.com /support. As a premium member, you know that there's an email. It's in your membership account that you can contact me at directly for your premium membership, and I'll get back to them as soon as I can. So appreciate you watching the video. Let me know if you need anything or have any questions.